Good morning. Hello. Happy new moon, lovers. How are you? Happy solar eclipse, too. We're doing a lot today,
Oh, yes.
and we're doing it together. Welcome, 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 Casey Zabala. What an honor to have you visiting this field, my channel, where we're growing and we're getting it done and we're doing it together.
Ooh, so
Please,
happy to be
everybody, take a second, boop that like button, and when you can, which could be now, go over and subscribe to Modern Witches, who are also putting out their horizontal roots here in my happy place. I absolutely love YouTube. And so, Casey, welcome. Good morning.
Thank
Thank you
you. Good
so
morning.
much for gathering today.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I've been looking forward to it all week. So I'm so excited to be communing with everyone and can't wait to hear what's going on for everyone under this new
Yes.
moon.
Everybody have some fun, spread out in the chat, get to know each other, say hello. I know what it is to be in these live stream chats for these last couple of years. We don't always know how to be, but I want to make it really clear, like how to be for me is visible. And that's what we do as folks that experience our beloved craft this time of year, because here we are on the eve of Beltane, where we celebrate our sensual expressions. We celebrate our body. We celebrate the blossoming, the full riotous blooms of flowers. So spread out in the chat. It really helps the channel. So in a way, it's kind of a method of tipping a witch, because it sends out digital reverberations that gather more folks just like us. So say hello. We'd love to see you. If you brought a candle to our session, we are going to strike our wooden match now, or lighter, whatever you got, and light our candle. Oops, I need a second one. That was a wild little flamer.
Little
Look how
poster.
cute this is. I used this little vial of matches in my last video. I love tiny things. A little goes a long way with magic, honey. So strike the match and light your ritual candle to alert your spirit guides all of our guidance, which is within us, for we are spirit and spirit is us. And in doing so, we open ourselves up to the messages that are meant for us. So welcome. Let us know if you have something lovely to drink. Share that as a way of like sharing what you know and what you love. This isn't about Casey and I in this hierarchical way of imparting wisdom. We're here to share what we love and to also receive what you have to share with everybody too. I'm going to be honest with you. Casey and I have this new way of gathering live streams so we can be side by side like this. And I want to summon the chat. And I see that I've got some comments there. Lovely. Thank you
Yes.
so much for being here, Amber. Hello. It's good to see you, AJ. Oh my goodness, Savannah. This is lovely. We got folks from the UK. We got folks from Northern California. This is so lovely. Please share where you are in our wild world if you are open to doing that in the chat, or even somewhere you wish you could be. New moons are special because new moons give us an opportunity to explore how we feel,
Mm.
not what's outside of us and judging what we want or shaming any kind of grief or burdens that we may have. New moons are for not just acknowledging, but embracing our suffering as a really essential way to exist. And I'm not going to bypass that just because it's an exquisitely gorgeous day here at the beach in Southern California, or because tomorrow's Beltane and a day to really, really explosively express ourselves, climactically express ourselves. New moons truly are for observing our needs, our need for rest and nourishment. So Casey and I have a couple of cool things that we want to do that involve our very own artwork and ping you to explore your own magic of your creativity. And so we have some cards that we want to pull for you. So Casey, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I absolutely love your Wanderer's Tarot.
Oh,
Like
thank
so, so
you.
much. I love your Oracle, your Weird Sisters Oracle as well. There's so much just like garden magic and Venusian magic. And we share something special in common, that we're both Taurus rising. So we've got Venus between us, and
We do.
Venus rules the garden. And Casey has some really beautiful things to share with us that are from like their amazing studies, because they're about to be done with grad school, like in days.
Ugh, yes.
And
I know. So quick.
they've got wisdom in their deck, and they've got wisdom in their like academic knowledge. There's just so much to share about flowers
Mm,
and what's happening in this season for flowers, but through the lens of this new moon eclipse.
very much so. Yes. I mean, this Taurus moment is so important because I think it's a reminder of how spirit can manifest in the material, and how spirit and matter are not separate. They're one. And I think that's
Mm.
really like the esoteric magic of Taurus, is just being able to really tap into that spiritual essence in all things. And even just I'm hearing how people are sharing their beverages, cannabis infused coffee. Like that's such a
Mm,
sensual Taurus beverage.
it really is.
And I think, these moments, like you said, Angela, there can be a lot of pressure. What I was hearing was like the pressure. It's a new moon, or it's Beltane. I'm a witch. I have to
Yeah.
do something, right? But really, it's just about being in your body.
Yes. We talked about, and you've been talking about on the very, very beautiful Instagram account, Modern Witches Confluence, which you are the founder of the Modern Witches Confluence. And that has been the Modern Witches Convergence. There's been so many iterations and expressions and shifts and changes and resets for all of
Mhm.
us. And Modern Witches Confluence account on Instagram is such a metronome-like, consistent gathering place, which I appreciate so much. And you've had some really cool posts about the goddess Flora. And I
Mm,
would love to hear what your observations are of ways that we can connect with Flora and the Floralia, festivals.
yeah.
And again, like no pressure, because I just love just chatting with you. But if you have something you want to share in that regard, oh, please bring it on, because we're
Yeah.
celebrating flowers in my witchcraft club. That's our May theme, is flowers. So yes, please give us
Mm,
all the flower lore.
I love it. Well, I was telling Angela that I opened my Flowers and Flower Lore Volume 1 book. This is a very nerdy book, to be
Beautiful.
honest. Um,
Lots of
but
words.
it's a lot of words, and I think it was printed in like the 1800s originally.
That's incredible. Your
Yeah, so
dream come true.
it's very much rooted in kind of the Celtic region flower lore. But I opened it up to the May Day post, and it was all about how um, people, villagers would come and like leave boughs of flowers, flowering boughs at people's front doors, like decorate their neighbors' homes with flowering branches, or their beloved's homes with flowering branches. And that would be a sign of just like a gift, like I see you and I love you, and here's these gorgeous flowering boughs to decorate your life at this special time. And that made me think of Floralia, which is a very ancient Roman festival, which was all about flowers and adornment and like making garlands and wearing flower crowns
Yes,
and just reveling in the wisdom of the flowers and being present with their gorgeousness, right? And
it's really
Angela, this
true.
orange flower you have with you today.
Isn't this amazing?
Yes.
Um, It's been a really fabulous week, and really specifically about the riot of flower blooms. My precious friend Maritza Rubio, that wrote the foreword for Moon Baby Magic Tarot, their book was born this week. It is here, it is here. And their book is Maria Maria and Other Stories by Maritza K. Rubio. I will
Beautiful.
put a link in the description of today's video, because uniquely how we're gathered live stream side by side like this, I can update and do my chapters and tags and all the things after our video today. And I will leave this up on my channel at the celebration, because we gathered at the Heritage Museum in Orange County. Maritza's mother, who is an incredible, what I call a florist, even though they really are so humble. They created some beautiful nosegays. That's one of my favorite flower terminologies, just small bouquet for some of the tables that were outside. And they gifted one to me. And it's so gorgeous and meaningful. There's cymbidium orchids and so many beautiful things that Maritza's mother created to echo the gorgeous artwork on Maria Maria. So Casey and I want to talk to you about adorning your life as a way of bringing your expression and your magic to your physical self, rather than seeking it outside of you from a guru or someone that will validate your experience or tell you how to celebrate. One of the greatest ways that you can celebrate your fascinations is by just drawing if you have hands that are able, or observing if you have eyes that work, or noses that can smell. That's it. All of those things are so about what you're able to do. So you need to find your own expression for communing with flowers right now. YouTube's pretty visual, so I think a lot of the folks that are here can probably see this riot of flowers. Super meaningful to me that I was able to be in the presence of a mother celebrating a daughter. And some of the stories in Maria Maria are about sisters that have magical abilities and how they're relating to each other. Such a fascinating, cool moment for me, because really, truly, in my lived experience, and this is my own new moon feeling, my precious mother, who I'm very close with, who lives a walking distance from my house, has not been able to touch my art in the world, has not been able to physically consume my art in the world. And I was at a funeral yesterday. So I'm having that ultra new moon ability to say, Angela, you're a grown person, you're a mother. I have a lot of personal confidence as an extroverted presenting person. Yet I have my own burdens, and I have my own ability to say the sweetness of Maritza's mother loving me and loving my art and loving her daughter's art is something I can receive right now. And it can be a salve for that wound of my own mother, having so many feelings about my magic that they can't consume it. And being at a funeral yesterday of a precious friend's mother, it's just, I have to be with this moment and let this eclipse in this moonless night really be an extra boost of the richness of the dark. Because in the dark, we can find our way forward by taking away distractions or outer celebrations. And we can get to partying and celebrating tomorrow, but today's that day to really let in learning what your body's telling you about what you need to do. So Casey and I have art that we've created in the world in the Wanderer's Tarot and Moon Baby Magic Tarot, and we have flower depictions on our cards. And we're going to show you some of those and give you basically like a few tarot cards that you can muse on, utilize as like a connection, flower ally prompt, affirmation for me. These will be flower affirmations, and I invite Casey into that too. Casey, would you like to show us a favorite card in Wanderer's Tarot that has a flower depiction?
Sure. Yeah, I pulled out my flower cards and I actually just pulled one to see what wanted to come forward. And we have the Philosopher of Feathers. Hope you can see that. And
Beautiful.
the Philosopher of Feathers is the Page of Wands in my deck. And we have this sort of feathered being wearing a little flower crown, sort of leaping off into that darkness. So an interesting message coming through about kind of facing the unknown and not being afraid to sort of, I don't know, unabashedly be yourself and walk into those unknown spaces with your full magic.
It's
So,
incredible. I love the line work in your magic.
thank you.
One of the things I really want to encourage folks to do is to add color on a day like today. If you're searching for a way to express your new moon magic, this eclipse, you're looking to open yourself up for those spirit downloads, color. Get out some colored pencils. Get with anything that you can print off the internet that you can add your own color to if you're not confident to do a line drawing on your own. Incredibly, Casey, I have in my hand the card that I was going to pull, which is also the Page of Wands. It's the Page of Lasers and Moon Baby Magic Tarot that has a new moon upon it.
Love it.
And as you can see, the amazing snapdragon skulls
Mm,
are the array surrounding my Page of Lasers with the keywords
mm,
sanguine. Inside of the feelings that you're having, the heaviness that exists in the world, because that is undoubtedly real. There are so many burdens of the world right now. You can be the light with the seeds of knowledge that you carry in your body. Those seeds are potential for life, but they only come from death.
mm,
You have to acknowledge, and I'm saying that with so much emphasis, you have to acknowledge that life and death are bound
mm,
and that new moons are the time of the seed. The seed is what came before you. It's ancestral magic. It is memories. It's ideas about what worked, what didn't work, what can bloom when you collaborate outside of yourself with the knowledge of the soil, the knowledge of the light, of the sun, of the water, and all of those, core elements come together. The color field is really important in my work as well. So this pink
mm,
shows us it's a time for self-love and reconciliation. You've really got to forgive yourself today. You've really got to lay those burdens down. I just love snapdragon skulls. I can't even express to you. Please name in the chat some of your favorite seeds. I've got sunflower seeds right now that are in little pots that are just trying to push through the soil in order to be planted in the backyard. And one volunteer from last year that's already rocking it on their own.
love it.
Um, I am so, so excited that we literally pulled the
I
same
know.
card.
Amazing.
We always have those blessings, Casey.
It's
Music
true.
is really important to me too when I'm connecting with my feelings. And right before we hopped on, the Hailu Margia, or I don't know if that's how you say their last name, song came on that was playing before Witches Confluence in real life in 2019 when we were all gathering, getting ready to have our opening ceremony around that gorgeous foraged altar
Mm,
that Matthew created for all of us. I just really go out if you can, and just a simple dandelion today, foraged, is here for you. And
yes.
just draw it and add color to it.
I have to just echo what everyone's saying in the chat because thank you, Savannah Ebony, for pulling and sharing Magnolia from the Dirt Gems Oracle. That's a beautiful deck.
Oh, it is a beautiful deck.
And such a floral deck, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Joe Brody just planted Viola, Nasturtium, Cosmos,
Mm.
and Status.
Ooh.
I don't know what Status is.
Oh, Status is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
Where
can't wait to.
Cosmos is like up and willowy and
Oh,
catches the
yeah.
breezes, Status is a little bit less leggy and less moving and showing the other elements. I love Status. That's one
Mm,
of my favorites from my mom. It almost grows like a straw flower. It's
oh,
very
cool.
dry appearing. You do know Status. It's all
Okay.
around. It's all, especially in San Francisco where you used to live.
Mm,
It's
mm.
very purple, dry flower looking plant. It's
Oh,
very
yes.
hardy.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You do. You do.
Yes.
It's really prevalent in California.
And they're using
It,
these beautiful blooms to dye fiber to create color magic.
oh,
That's so gorgeous. Thank you for sharing that.
That's so amazing. Is there another flower that you wanna share, a little flower affirmation from your deck?
Yes,
It's so fun to be with our decks together,
I
Casey.
know. I love it. Okay. So the Empress. Um,
Ooh,
this Empress has cypress trees, which for me are
gorgeous.
just so magical, um,
Yes.
mystical, really. There's
Yes.
something just about kind of like, the sacred mysteries that is evoked for me
Mhm.
with cypress. And this Venus goddess
Yeah.
has sort of also these wheat sheaves here. So
Mm.
an offering to the earth, and really just that invitation to kind of be with the earth and
Mhm.
honor the mysteries that exist
Mhm.
within all of our life, our plant life. They have their own
Mhm.
secret worlds that we can celebrate.
Amazing. I have pulled the 3 of lasers. It's got another
Mm.
new moon, and I wanna share with you, I also had my Empress card, which is called Empress in Moon Baby Magic Tarot, and it jumped away from me.
Oh,
Like, I don't know what that's about, but it's on the floor. Maybe my sweetie can hear me right now, and they'll come pick it up. But this beautiful card is reminding us that we braid many energies together when we express ourselves in art. The key words for the 3 of lasers on Moon Baby Magic Tarot is art spell. So
oh,
it's about
mhm,
expressing yourself in creativity and magic. It's no secret to anyone that I absolutely worship Leonora Carrington because they are such a fierce April-born magical person. Even though they're
mm,
in Aries and we're in Taurus season, that April magic is about bursting through the surface if you are a Northern Hemisphere witch. And it's about using, like, the piercing edge of your blade to burst through and exist and demand for it to go down your way. Leo would not talk about their work. They would demand that people talk about their own experience with their work
mm,
and, run and hide at, art openings, um, with their family members, with their grandkids, and snicker and laugh about everybody that was taking it all so seriously. Leonora Carrington demanded that people use their own imagination and their own creativity in the works that they're doing. And so this is my own observation of that with the wild, crazy morning glory flowers that have
mm,
vintage lights bursting forth from them. It's like I almost wanted to create a card that was garish in the way that it said, what is going on this card? To make you go into what's going on in your own life,
mm,
your own magic. What is the creative expressions that you adore? Get into it. Do everything you can to hold back the rain today and just push the world out and have one blessed day per lunation where you just have some expression that is stillness for you.
mm,
I think having a quiet day where you just observe things that are really simple, you feed your body wholly and draw as best you can and add color as best you can to something that you draw can really show you where maybe you're holding some judgments against yourself and your abilities, and you have the ability to release that. In my case, I have the ability to say, I'm holding a prayer for my mother to be able to love and appreciate my magic
mm,
from this witch's body in the world, and that it hurts that it's not here today, and that's okay, you
mhm.
know? That's
Yeah.
okay.
Mm. Thank you, Angela.
I know what it is in this ageist world to place upon folks that are in my age and stage that they've got it worked out
Mhm,
because maybe they have a home or children or some other expression that has an outer presentation of having it together. Let me tell you, it's so important for me to tell you the burdens that I carry. That's important in my magic to represent that it's never over, that we're always going through our abilities to feel our feelings in a brand new way and plant new seeds and never give up.
Mhm.
That's a really important theme for me, never giving up.
Mm,
I've
so
got a
good.
card to share. This is the Death card. The Death card is
Mm,
adorned with masses and masses of the calendula type flower. In the calendula family is marigolds. And that's a simple, gorgeous flower that's a beautiful parent plant because it can make it through many different kinds of winter. It produces so many seeds, and it
mhm,
can really be very self-sustaining if left alone. It represents the opposite of where we are in the calendar now. It represents autumn and the death of the life that we are existing in right now. So, yeah, marigolds are fabulous as a border for your gardens. They kind of are a natural little pest control. They're very protective of flowers. They're very protective of delicate shoots. And this is a picture of my animal familiar, Bindi, who really brought me into my own expression of maternity in a really core time where I was still trying to play by the rules of the outside world. Once I got her, I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to just take care of this being our way. We don't care if people are teasing us. We don't care if we're not invited to things anymore because we can't bring her. We're not doing that anymore. We're just all about the life that we truly adore. So the death card asks us what we really adore,
oh,
what we really love.
and to, yeah, not sacrifice it, which I love the most. You
Let
know,
those changes in.
yeah, exactly. It is a death moment. I love that, Beltane is opposite Samhain on the Wheel of the Year. Um,
Yes.
and it's such an invitation to kind of like peer through to that liminal time and connect
Hmm.
with your ancestors. Send them love, send them flowers, make offerings. It's a time when we can be more present with that death force, which is really important.
You know, the death card itself is its own invitation to celebrate, its
Mhm.
own invitation to commune with the gorgeous, simple mystery that life never ends. It just walks through a death portal into its newest expression. So let's do that with joy because in our gorgeous, glorious craft, I mean, I would love to see us not be vilified. I don't know if that's gonna happen in my lifetime, but people still deeply fear witches.
Mhm.
People in real life really deeply fear witches, which is, it always blows my mind because I think of us as some of the most celebratory folks that I know. So let's go for some celebrating today. Do
Yes.
something rebellious. Yes, let's take a look at that gorgeous death
This is
card.
my death card is
Oh,
like so joyous to me, and I really wanted
mhm,
it to be that expression of like, you know what? This is part of life. It's got a little rose in their mouth,
mm,
and just an opportunity to just be with death, be with the process of it. I really think witchcraft is one of the best ways that we kind of tap into this work, but honoring death as, yes, dancing in the graveyards,
mm.
amber, embers. I love that. Um,
Yes,
it's time
please.
to dance in the graveyards, and to just honor that we need death. I think,
Yes.
the lack of honoring of death as a process is part of why we're in such a horrible mess in terms of
I fully agree.
climate change. It's
Yeah.
just, we need to be able to let go.
Yeah, and not
Compost.
be desensitized to the word crisis when we
Right.
talk about the science of the climate crisis, to to
Mm,
to remain vital in that word.
yeah.
Melissa Glass-Gavlin, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for bringing in your love of marigolds, easy to grow and protect and bright. I know the brightness, it's so uniquely bringing me into what I love about eclipse practices is there's a randomness. It's a
Mhm.
portal, and it's eclipses, they're really, fashionable to chat about right now in our circles. They're very common. It's a
Mhm.
couple of times a year, and it's a season. It's a really gorgeous opportunity. It reminds me of how beautiful our practices are and how common they are and how you can raise awareness in your gentle circles around you by saying, "What you doing for the eclipse tonight?" to someone that maybe isn't in our language and expressions, and make it more common, but also really bring your awareness and bright languaging to how in denial the systems of oppression that uncomfortably and hideously do rule the financial markets of the world
Mhm.
in the capitalist patriarchy, which is just we're living to see dismantled through our tower
Mhm.
cards, right? We're
Yes.
living to create that beautiful river that your death skeleton
Mhm.
is dancing around, because look what can be done one droplet at a time. The Grand Canyon can be born, you know?
Yes.
So feel your feelings. Let this day be a really aqueous
Mhm.
expression that changes the waters of your body. Let it flow. I just cried and cried and cried for dear precious Nancy Lee yesterday, who was the queen of the gardens, who
Mm.
created a secret garden for her grandchildren to play in and talk about fairies and share and invent stories and have a magical walk. And I just got to cry and cry yesterday. Oh, my little swollen eyes
Mm.
are here to be seen and here to be like celebrated. This
Yes.
body is going through things right now on such a magical level that I get to be with those maternal wounds and burdens and losses on the new moon and let those transform. As I'm a mother too, I can let my kids, even have some language towards how I'm failing them. That'd be a fun thing to do today. It's
Mhm.
also prom night, honey, so please pray for one of my kids going to the prom. They have to drive an hour to get there. I just
Oh,
please. Protection magic,
yeah.
please. All the marigold magic, please.
Yes.
Please place in the chat any kind of like prayers and intentions that you need, any needs that you have in the chat. You have some magical folks here that would love to hold space through this tiny, simple flame for what you need today, too, and what your burdens are, what your challenges are. I'm
Mm.
just being a mom worrywart over here and also being a really pained daughter. It's both. It's
Yeah.
both.
Mm. I love that prom is on Beltane Eve.
Oh, do you? Do
Wow.
you now?
That's
That's
wild.
super sexy.
That's
It
super
is.
sexy and wild.
Well,
Yeah.
it gives me the opportunity to just, like, allow my f beings in my care, I'm not gonna be specific, to be sexual beings, to be sensual beings, to be exploring beings, to be beings that are emerging, evolving,
Mhm.
becoming.
Mhm.
Yeah, Beltane is about that expression all night long around the fire, to dance, to leap the fire, to
Mhm.
be in your birthday suit, to be like stripped down and laid bare and love your body exactly as it is.
Mm. And love on the earth too. I feel like that, that idea of stripping down and just being present with your body and finding pleasure in your body also translates to loving the earth.
We
So
are
loving
Earth.
the earth.
Yeah. We Are Earth. I had to read the gorgeous Joy Harjo poem, Remember, an excerpt from it in my last video. How's everybody doing with my ASMR videos? They're not stopping. They're just flowing, right? I can't stop. I'm having so much fun and things are growing and shifting on my channel. And it's because of all of you. So thank you so, so much for supporting my wild, weird magic. I am absolutely going to lay on my birthday suit tonight upon the yummy, gorgeous grickle grass, we always call it, like the Dr. Seuss grickle grass. We don't grow like sod. It is not manicured. It is hand watered, if ever. There's no sprinkler system. There's just like us in this observation of adoring this land that we're so blessed to be stewards of. So I'll be laying in my birthday suit on that land, just communing and receiving and giving back to Gaia, to the mysterious mama of this body.
I love
I'm
that.
going to have to put my swollen glasses on to see what's happening in the chat. Hello. Hi. Hey, yo, Adrian. It's so good to see you. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. Grickle grass is very good. I knew you would like that, AJ. Please pull another card for us, Casey. I love your tarot tongue. I love your tarot magic.
Let's see here. Oh, okay. Oh, we have the 10 of Swords.
Doing
10 of
it.
Knives. Yeah, and this card is adorned with the lilies and the roses from the Magician. So it's really about, honoring that the choices we make lead us down very divergent paths. And we have to make those choices with passion. And we also have to make those choices with spirit in mind. So it's really about calling in spirit as something that can kind of be like an alchemical elixir to help you make those difficult choices and to help in those endings. I especially want to just say to Life by the Moon Yoga that it's really hard to end those relationships, but I don't know, 10 of Swords kind of feels like a potent response to your prayer.
Yeah.
And sometimes endings are really what needs to happen. Eclipse season lessons.
Very real. I have pulled the Three of Blades. Speaking of editing, this is adorned with the third quarter moon and bleeding hearts flowers. Bleeding hearts flowers that I photographed that my mother brought to my wedding altar that was in my garden, in my back garden. And a few days before the wedding, my parents weren't certain that their religious expression and lifestyle would allow them to come to my wedding. This is 21 years ago, and I was married by a witch as a witch. It was a big moment of empowerment. And so the Three of Blades, keyword is suffer, and it's got that third quarter moon where we banish, cut cords, edit. Right? So if you're an artist and your expression is about art, right now is the time to get out the artwork that you're working on and edit, simplify. I have my ritual shears in this photo, and I have very intentionally utilized the color that I call pumpkin curry, because when you're in pain, when you're in an expression on the new moon of feeling your feelings, you got to feed yourself. You have to prioritize what goes in the lips as its own spell that tells the body, you're okay, you're safe. We can feel these feelings and exist. Thank you. I honor you. Thank you. I honor you. Thank you. I honor you for allowing space to feel your feelings.
Yeah.
I bless you all in the chat, sharing what you're going through. When Casey and I created this, it was Casey's wonderful suggestion for us to gather every new moon on my channel in 2022. This is divined in 2021. So we also wanted to leave space for developing how this went down. But the one thing that was really important to us is that we encouraged folks maybe less exciting practice of laying your burdens down.
Yeah.
We really wanted this to be a space for that downbeat, that lives in all of us. Maybe it's not as exciting as the full moon, but it is to us. We're waning moon witches. We really love the balsamic moon and the dark moon practices in a really big way. It's just one day, and similar to the third quarter moon, 4 of the 8 lunar phases in a full lunation, which is 28 days about, are on specific dates and times, and the new moon is a very specific date and time, and so is the third quarter moon. So you have an opportunity to really flash something on the fire that you're letting go of. I understand what it is to let go of a friendship that no longer feels aligned, and that happened to me in a big way in 2021, and I was holding on to that carcass. And wonderfully live, like I like it, when I was invited onto the Between Your Worlds podcast by Amanda and Carolyn to talk about the 9 of Caves, I was able to like really face unburdening myself. I was hanging on to that unaligned relationship, sadly, because I didn't know what my life would be like without it. There's been such a freedom that's come in that and it has not been easy at all because it kind of went out with a bang. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You can do difficult things that are painful and learn and thrive from it. You can suffer and learn to edit. You can do it. You can be prosperous from the letting go.
And you never know what's going to come. I feel like there's the welcoming of the mystery in that when you create spaciousness for yourself and when you choose you over another person. Yeah.
Oof. That's so unlike us to talk about that, Casey. Thank you. Stick with that ribbon of choosing you over someone else.
I pulled the strength card as you were talking because I think this is a real message of, digging really deep inside yourself and honoring your needs and honoring your narrative, your path. And sometimes that is exquisitely difficult because I know a lot of us here, we're witches and we carry at least the trauma of the witch within us.
Yes.
And with that comes a lot of pain and a lot of need for care. And we tend to take care of other people. Us witches.
That also lives in our bones.
Yes, exactly.
Communal care.
Yes, which is important and sacred, but also sometimes it's for you. It's time to take care of yourself. And this new moon could be a really potent time to make some commitments in that direction.
We must be resourced.
Yes.
And because we are Earth, our resources happen in portals. The portal of the lips, the portal of the sexual organs. That is an area that relates to each other. It has to be fed and expressed. We have to let messages, food, nourishment, resources in. We have to let them flow out. We have to allow ourselves to flower, open up upstairs and downstairs, and just let there be this exits and entry points. And that's what Beltane is for me, an expression of the body flowering and being filled with nectar that is encouraged and stoked to flow and audaciously, climactically exist. Flowers are audacious. Flowers are shameless. And your body is a flower. And the flowers are essential to life. We don't have the flowers. We don't have the resources. We don't have the flowers. We don't have the food. So my next card is the Sun card. And it's utter simplicity. And I pray that little seed that's growing, volunteering in my back garden is from this flower. But this is a photograph in 2020 of a sunflower that was growing in my back garden, and a bee that is a different photograph that we took and blew up in a different way. The pollinators, when we worship flowers, when we treat ourselves as a flower, we welcome in pollination. We welcome in the newness of friendships that are in alignment, the newness of mother love that shows up. even if it isn't from the bio source mother. It exists. I know that I am that for many, and I welcome that because I know the craving. I
Mm.
know the need that exists. Like, be the flower that's welcoming in the pollinators because the flowers are the food. Without the flowers, we do not have food. It's that basic.
Yep.
I can't believe that isn't taught the minute that we're born.
Right.
That like flowers are essential to life, and that is on period.
And Venus and like the beauty is essential to life, right? I think that's so
It's really
important to
true.
remember. Beauty is not something that's just kind of a little side fun thing we have in this world. It's
Mm-mm.
essential to this
It is
world.
not frivolous.
Frivolous is the word. Yes. It's
It
essential.
is. There's a reason why we're attracted to that nosegay, that small
Mhm.
bouquet that attracts our nose. Our olfactory is, of all of our senses, the thing that changes our brain chemistry the fastest. I do know that. I am not a doctor, but I'm telling you, I have lived my life learning about aromatherapy, being raised with aromatherapy from my mother, and then as a hairdresser, having a salon with the core of that salon was about touch and aromatherapy.
Mhm.
Um, Want to change your brain chemistry real quick? Pinch that rosemary, pinch that lavender on the way by. My last YouTube video is specific to Taurus season and connecting with your body, returning to your flesh when you feel yourself unfurling.
Mhm.
When the pain of the relationship that's shifting around you, even though it's so necessary, becomes so great, return to your body with the food, return to your body with the expression. There's just never ending the invitations that flowers and this time of year in Beltane remind us to physically return to our flesh, and
Yeah,
not as a side gig, as a main gig.
absolutely. Mm.
Can we talk about, cool things that are going on in both
Yeah,
our spaces right now,
please.
Casey? How are you holding up with getting through school in the last, like, what,
Oof.
13 days?
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
pretty an intense portal that I'm currently spiraling down, but I cannot wait to be on the other side. I'm almost there, so that's exciting. Uh,
Please send some flowers in the chat for Casey's incredible transition, which is, I'm using birth words right now because you
yes.
talked about a spiral. That's what
Mhm.
happens before it gets real bottlenecked,
Oh
before
yeah.
that baby gets born. So flowers in the chat for the transitions, please. Yes.
Yes, but I'm excited too because we're going to be introducing more formally next week, but we have our teacher in residence, or witch in residence is going to be Rawia Tariq for Modern Witches. So,
Yes, please.
yes, and they will be teaching their first workshop of 4 on May 22nd, and it's going to be about creating
Amazing.
ecstasy. So, you will
Oh,
not
that's fabulous.
yes, you won't want to miss any of that. We'll be announcing
You
tickets
won't.
next week. So,
Oh, I'm thrilled to hear that. That's wonderful. Is that something also that is a benefit for Patreon, Coven
yes.
members? Because I'm in your Patreon as well.
Yeah, so Patreon members get a massive discount on those workshops. So if you
Amazing.
want a discount, join us over on Patreon, and you'll get
Awesome.
extra goodies over there too.
Yeah, Rawia teaches an online class truly like no others. The
Mhm.
energy, the enthusiasm, the power, the dancing, the crying, the passion, and the actual gigantic feast of content.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that word because you leave with so many writing prompts, so many spells. There's such a generous educator. There's such an amazing, fierce space holder,
Mm.
and someone that I'm absolutely honored to call a friend, someone whom I adore supporting, and I just wanna do more. Like, if I could just follow them around, fanning them with a palm frond, I would, literally. Rawia is a force. They're
Mhm.
amazing, and I'm so thrilled that you're offering that. Casey is also the guest star in my witchcraft club on Patreon. On Friday the 13th, we'll be gathering for an hour in a full coven gathering, and we'll be talking a little bit more about our worshiping of flowers. I hope that Casey will talk a little bit more about, sort of the founding aspect of Modern Witches Confluence. And
Mhm.
having said that, we are slated to gather in real life in October. So can you tell us a little bit about that as well, Casey?
Sure, yes. I can share that our theme for the upcoming confluence is going to be divination. So
Woo!
I am personally extremely excited.
Need
So
it
it's
in
gonna
my
be,
life.
yes, all things divination, all things working with spirit. So you won't want to miss it.
Amazing. My final card is our Page of Waves with the keyword ecstasy, and it is a first quarter moon adorned card. The keyword for the first quarter moon is divination.
Mm,
Divination is opening yourself up for where spirit is guiding you. What is spirit? Spirit is you. You are spirit. Spirit is you. And we are all in this big body together. And yet we're listening for messages outside of ourselves. Divination is finding methods for connecting with what your spirit is calling for, and how those gorgeous mysteries outside of you are in collaboration, are in development with what your um, I guess I wanna say purpose is,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
also ever changing. So I'm
Mhm.
so excited for the confluence. I hope and pray that I'll be able to attend. I only say that simply because I'm just really a busy human right now with my kids right now, being at that really incredible stage where they need, like, lots of extra, like, care. They
Yeah.
deserve and need a lot of extra care. I can't imagine not being there, and I'm definitely gonna bring my sweetie with me,
Mm.
who's kinda rocking it on their own YouTube channel, and you can see a link to go over and see what they're getting up to over there. The Page of Waves is adorned with an aged hand holding a witch hazel bloom that's super out of scale. Witch hazel blooms are much smaller than this, but I'm pulling forward the weight that elders carry, especially in our witch community. We are so totally shamed, bashed, and bypassed that I just had to kind of go out and do it on my own over here on my YouTube channel. But truly, people do crave the wisdom that I have to share, even though it's really, really challenging to, um, find a way to be promoted, I guess I wanna say.
Mm.
So I'm happy to show an aged hand. Isn't that refreshing to see an aged hand water witching with a witch hazel bloom, which is an old ancient practice of collaboration with the witch hazel bloom when you're searching for subterranean water. The witch hazel bloom fingers will move when a steady hand who knows how to water witch is searching for that water below the surface. I don't know how to do it, but it's one of my fantasy things that I want to do. So the Page of Waves invites us to stay with the things we want to learn, stay with being fresh, even when your flesh ages, to stay a student forever, to stay in joyous collaboration with what you're excited about, curious about, trying to pull forward in your life. It's never over.
Mm-mm. Mm. That's so beautiful.
Well, loves, we never wanted to
I
end, but
know.
this has been a nice long session. I'm personally sorry that we were a little teeny bit late. It was a wild thing trying to find the audio, but I'm so tickled that we can gather side by side.
Okay.
Be with us each new moon of 2022. Please smash that like button. It's a really, really easy, cool, free way to tip a witch. Please subscribe to this channel where every single video, every time you see me, it is a candle service. This is a 6-hour candle service that I place on my altar after we're done live streaming or when I'm done with my videos. And I carry the intentions of everybody that subscribes to the channel. Subscribe to Modern Witches, who just is toppling 600 subscribers. You're on your way now to 1,000 subscribers, honey. It's wonderful to see you spread out there. Do you have any final messages about ways to connect with you, Casey?
I would say just definitely subscribe to Modern Witches on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow me on Wanderer's Tarot. And we
Aw,
hope to
thank
see
you
you there.
so, so much for that tip, Life by the Moon Yoga. Thank you so, so much. That's so kind. We
Yes,
appreciate it so
ma'am.
much. This is lovely to gather with everyone. Take super good care of your body. Eclipses can rock you.
Mhm.
We're in that Mercury shadow phase. It can rock you. If you
Yeah.
find your mind, coming to the front and being kind of trapped in a thought loop, return to the body. Coconut milk, pumpkin, everything that's grounding. If you need to sit there with a whole avocado and eat it like it's a bowl of ice cream, do it. Mineral rich foods, everything in the nut category, do it all. And we'll talk to you lots, and we'll talk to you soon. Casey, thank you so much for being here. This is amazing.
Thank you so much. This was such a treat and such a treat to connect with everyone here. Thank you.
Worship those flowers, honeys, and we'll talk to you soon. Take good care. Bye.